Hey, what's going on, everybody? Geronimo 22. Just give me a little intro here before I start the video. Our video is about 30 minutes long. I just wanted to come in here and show you the new, um, what I call ready sheet, which really gives you all the plays in the defense. So everybody can see this. I want everybody to know the changes that were made. I went into the PlayStation community files, updated the book. What you're going to see is you're going to see 46 normal is in there instead of the 46 bear. We're going to use that in short yardage and in the red zone. So that's going to be a big change for the playbook. And we'll talk about that as we go along. I don't mention the goal line 62. It's pretty obvious. If somebody comes out in goal line, you match them and come out in goal line. I usually, in this defense, just keep it normal, just run it stock. Okay. If you do have both goal line packages, that you can use the 53 package. That's a whole different video. But if you want to be true to a 4-down team, most 4-down teams use the 6-2. All right. So really, we're going to be majoring and talking a lot about these defenses right here. And then we're going to get into some, I don't have them listed here, but if we came out and just nickel 51 cut, we're going to call it Vice, okay? 51 Vice. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of overview and talk about what that means. It's real simple. It's not that much. Can't be complicated down in the red zone. We got to get lined up and play. And then we'll go from there. All right. Hey, what's going on, fellas? Finally getting this out to you. This is going to be the video talking about red zone and short yardage fronts. So I'm going to start in the red zone and then we'll move into the short yardage fronts because some of it's going to overlap right into the red zone. So just taking a look at, Jim Schwartz's playbook here, the red zone part, something called one vice, okay? And really all this is a way to take the safety, post safety, and have him double team one of the wide receivers. Okay, so let me just show you the pictures. It's pretty simple. Just wanted to show you that this is part of the playbook. But here we have, let me get a different color here. We just have an I formation looking over here versus basically the same way it almost looks like one cut, right? So what we do though is we take the safety who is usually in the post and we just basically let him go double team somebody. So in the Madden world, you can get away with double teaming. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I would do is I would just user that safety and look to help out the most dangerous threat. Just make sure that they're not going to catch the ball. All right. So you come out in your base defense. This is red zone. I would start the red zone 20 yards, bring it all the way down to, whatever you feel like before they start getting into goal line, 5 yard line, whatever it is. And then just play your normal defense from there. Okay. But that coverage adjustment is what we're going to make. All right. So that's the start of this thing. And there's going to be a theme like this throughout most of these plays. If we wanted to come out versus 11 personnel, we could do the same thing. Okay. So we just double team. Now, this is where you could mess around with potentially, you call cover one, safety's here in the middle. You could try to computer man this, right? And then maybe user the nickel. And if this guy runs across the field, hope and pray this computer player can play him. And then you could just kind of fall off with the nickel, right? Or if you really think it's a good player, you know what I mean? Because what we're trying to do is what? The zig route is what we're trying to protect. I think it's a good player, then just once he runs inside, you know that the computer doesn't do a great job of kind of playing that route. So just try to undercut it, true double team it. You know what I mean? But I do like that technique so that if he runs something across the field and this guy runs like a shallow, I like the technique of letting it go so I can go help on shallow, okay, or a boot play or something like that. So just want to kind of talk about that, but that's pretty much 51 Vice. So the underneath coverage, when they don't actually play, just so you know, just from a football standpoint, if you're curious, there's no hole player here, okay, but they are going to just pretty much banjo the the underneath coverage. Okay, the running back. I'm sorry. So whichever way he goes, right, the linebacker to that side takes it. But in Madden, we can't really do that. So we're still going to just play hole, okay, and just play it out from there. All right, and just have the hole. But you won't be using the linebackers if you really want to play the coverage part of this. So they're going to banjo naturally, okay. But from a front standpoint, if they come out and under center, you still use your adjustments for under center run. you're going to call more over defense. And then if they come out and gun, you're going to call more wide nine defense from your nickel package. Okay. So I'd rather just show you the coverages and then we could jump on the field and just kind of like, we could show you some specialized coverages as well. This one's gonna pop up. I'm gonna kind of Jimmy rig. I think that's what they call it. This coverage. Right now this is red double. Basically, it's a 5-man pressure. Whatever you decide to do, and they take the free safety in the middle of the field and just double team. So again, red is going to be used. And the 10 is the 5-man pressure, and we're going to double whoever. So double X, double Z, double a number, right? So it's the same idea. We're just going to bring pressure and we're going to take the safety and double team. What I'm going to end up calling is when we get on the field, just to give you a heads up, I'm going to call some zero pressures. Okay. And we're going to use one of the guys that should have been blitzing, one of the linebackers, and we're going to use that same technique and double team somebody like that. So we're going to kind of get that same effect just a little change up that kind of fits the Madden world. Okay. So we use red double, especially against formations like trips, nub formations, tight end trips, nub, or against like bunch sets. All the hard formations that are hard to get lined up to, I have an answer for that. All right. And the last coverage, well, there's really two more coverages, but this one here is red three strafe. So it's just covered three strafe, which is covered three seam in the game. And really, there's no difference besides they're going to play with a little bit more man mentality. And when I say more man mentality, really the way we're going to get to that is we're really worried about in the red zone. The way teams score easily in the red zone in the NFL is by throwing flat routes to the running back, okay, maybe a zig route, basically getting the ball out quickly to the flat and letting that guy get yards, okay? So Jim Schwartz's idea in that was saying we can play cover three seam, but we just can't be playing like whoever has to cover number two, right? Whoever, let's say like this seam flat player right here, instead of dropping back and then coming up, right, relating to it, or even kind of going horizontal, he wanted to make sure that if number two goes to the flat, that he attacks it. All right. So that seam technique down there in the red zone was a little bit different. All right. Don't worry about all the different adjustments you see here because we obviously can't play cover three seam in the red zone to 3-by-1 or any part of the field unless we use the radar check, which I've talked about it, which is just basically manning everybody up. So we might as well just call cover one. But really, the way you have to think about it is if you're going to call cover three strafe or cover three seam down there, let's say it's like on a 20-yard line, okay? Just be ready to cover anybody to the flat quickly, especially on going to call it versus 2-by-2. Let me see, 2-by-2 formation. And if running back goes out or tight end goes out, you might want to use her that seam flat player and just go get it, right? Or use her that mic and just go get it. Like, be aggressive. Don't sit back. So it's like a reminder. That's all it is. All right. So you could do it out of obviously base personnel. But we don't really have that in the game, but we will have actually, I take that back. There will be some fronts that you guys haven't seen yet. 46 and 4-4. We do have three strafe. So this is the first time you see it. You'll be able to play it with the linebackers. Okay. But most of the time it's going to be a version of red 53Y, which is just basically cover three seam versus 2-by-2 or versus empty. Okay. And we're just going to play right here our normal three. Okay. And then from here, we have to make adjustments versus empty. I don't know why I circled that one first. Bad job by me. Let's just look at this one here, 2-by-2, right? We're just going to play three seam. And again, we're going to possibly here, instead of maybe using the safety or whatever, we're going to use her maybe the linebacker to the side of where the running back is, like we usually do in the run game. And if this dude goes out, right, and this dude goes out a vertical, go get it. Okay. Basically, get to your matches quickly down there. Okay. All right. So let's jump on the Madden field. Let's talk about red zone. And then when it comes to short yardage, I'm not going to show any pictures here from Jim Schwartz. It's pretty much base defense of just over, and we're just going to show you. I'm going to show you the two fronts we're going to use to kind of create some good situations that maybe we can get some TFLs, tackle for losses. All right. I'll see you on the Madden field. Okay, so we're in the field here. Okay, so we're in the red zone. Let's just start it at the 20-yard line. And we're going to just call some of the defenses we talked about. So we'll go with the 51 vice, okay, which is going to call one hole. That's what that is. All right. Let's just talk about some quick little routes here. We're just going to talk about, how to double team and maybe who you want to double team, right? So let's just say slot receiver is a problem. So we'll make we called 50, we called wide, right? We're going to make our D line adjustment. We're good. All right. This is where now maybe down here in the red zone, you hope that, stopping the run, hopefully this defense can hold up, but maybe you want to use her now the safety. Okay. And we're going to double team the slot receiver. Now, you can do, I suggest in the beginning, if the team, you don't know how good your opponent is, you don't know maybe what their plays are, just do it yourself. Just use it as safety and then just go double team, right? And hope that any inside breaking route, because the goal of what we're trying to stop down here, I should have said this in the very beginning, is we're trying to stop seam routes. We're trying to stop easy throws down the middle. If people want to take shots on the outside or throw corners, throw out breaking routes, let them, as long as there's not something in the flat real quick. All right. So this is the beginning of it. And we just go from there. If it's a pass play, obviously we want to sit here. You have to think about third down as well. Okay. Third down in the red zone is a huge down. It could be the difference between a field goal or potentially the continuation of the drive. Okay. So just that's one of the adjustments. If you do want to kind of play more aggressive, you can double team with the safety here and also use kind of like what I do in cover 57, use the nickel, right? And just kind of play off the outside half and just take any outside breaking routes. If he goes inside, you can just come off, right? So something to think about. You can kind of do that. So that's going to be all the way from the 20 down to, I would say, the 5, all the way down to the 1 if you really want to. But making sure you match your run front is probably the most important thing to start with. So I feel comfortable still using the wide defense there. Um, Let me see what else. I mean, you can use over because you can over. It's kind of plays like wide. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but that's that. All right. If we get into the team that came out under center, you would probably maybe you start using some of the three strafe. Okay, red three strafe. Okay, because that allows you to, from a front standpoint, get into the over front, and we've talked about this. So let me just find cover three seam, and let's go against one back set, spread one back set to start, right? But any type of under center stuff is what you kind of want to be ready for. Let me go with a run here, okay? So cover three strafe, all right? We talked about this. We can squeeze that D line if you want. You can let it play out. I like to use the backside guy right here to take away that B gap, okay? So now the only thing, like I had told you, is that three strafe is if the running back goes to the flat very quickly, all right, you want to make sure that you can get to him. I don't have a good play call right here. Let me just kind of, I know it's a little bit of a condensed set, but that's okay. So right here we have, I think number 2 is running an out, okay? And let's just say a team had a play where the running back was going to the flat quickly, all right? It could be a regular out route. It could be a wheel type of route. People like to run wheels down here, right? So I'm going to use her. In this case, it's kind of hard because you don't know which way he's going to go. But I'm just going to assume it's to the field, right? I'm just going to go and I'm going to match that quickly, all right? I don't have match on. I don't think I have match on. So that's why the outside guy didn't play that right. Let me just go make sure that match is on. All right, match is on. My fault. So again, three seam just gives you, it's almost like you're playing like man to man, okay? You just have to be really cognizant of the running back. It's probably better versus the gun now that I think about it. And you're going to probably get it versus formations where it could be tight, and that's going to kind of get you out of playing true three seam. But if you do have a formation where it's not tight, just play it like that. All right. So basically, like I said, just play with the linebackers or play with whoever you think might be going to the flat. All right. Trying to take away that flat route quickly. It could be you playing with the safety as well. All right. Excuse me. So going against spread sets down here again, I would also look at calling some quarters coverage. All right. So this is more like third down, maybe. All right. And remember, both cover three seam and quarters, I didn't talk about it. There's the high risk of you getting a bubble. So you might have to just man up number 2 if you think it's a bubble or user this guy. Okay. But quarters coverage is quarters coverage. And then another play that you can work off of quarters coverage is just calling cover zero pressure, right? All out pressure. So we're good there. So that's pretty much the majority of what I would do on third down and red zone and first down where you think it might be some passing. I'll review it real quick. We'll call cover one hole, which is 51 vice. Okay. We will call cover three seam, which is red. And I forgot to put the red front in front of it. Red 51 vice, red 53. Okay. And then we can also use our quarters and our cover zero down there. So that's pretty much what you're going to rely on most of the time. And all of those defenses are good at taking away seam throws. I know cover three seams a little bit iffy. If you guys really want to go back and look at what I talked about in the Wade Phillips plan, but it's really for any defense can do the three cheat, where you kind of put one guy in man to man, right? Or you put one guy in cover three zone, and you can kind of work that. Look at that video. I don't want to go into it right now. And then also remember the video I talked about. If you get a team that wants to run a lot of inside zone from the gun, we're going to call nickel wide one linebacker blitz. And versus 2x2, we're going to make sure that make sure the blitz is coming from the same side as the running back. Squeeze the line or pinch the line, I would say. And a lot of times this guy comes in clean. Okay. So you can kind of mix that in there as well. You can call it red 51 one linebacker blitz. And remember, versus 3x1 formations, if they want to run gun, they want to run inside zone. This is what it's good against, guys. Inside zone. Doesn't matter the formation. Let's go. All right, I'm just going to use this bubble play. Hand the ball off, okay? So the trick here is to make sure that the linebacker that's blitzing is to the three receiver side. So right now he's fine. We do the same thing. We just pinch, all right? We're just going to get, most of the time, get that pressure coming right through. I don't know why I did it there. We have a whole film on that. I'm not going to do that right now. I actually put that on the YouTube and also told you guys about it. But that linebacker, most of the time, will come through clean to the three receiver side, wherever there's more receivers, okay? So that's something you can use down there in the red zone to try to get a TFL, tackle for loss. All right. All right. So let's kind of jump back a little bit. Let's say if you got a team that is coming out, it's a red zone, you think they might run the ball, but it's 3rd and 1, right? So we're gonna mix together red zone and also this could be 3rd and 1 in the field as well. Okay. The two defenses I like to use a lot are going to be 4-4. So this is short yardage. Let me just review. This is short yardage anywhere on the field. And this is also red zone short yardage for sure. Okay. The two defenses I like to use are the 4-4 split. Okay. And what we're going to call is basically cover one. So let's say we're in the field. We're called just regular one hole, cover one, which is going to be one cut. All right. Now we have 4 linebackers on the field. We have 4 down linemen, and we're playing ball. Okay. So teams might come out in 2 tight end sets. They might not come out in 2 tight end set. Let's just come out. Let's split the difference and come out in a Z close kind of sort of. All right. So what we're going to do here in a 4-4 defense, okay? If we think it might be a pass, all right? So we don't want to this is the middle of the field. Actually, let me just do it. Let's just put ourselves in the middle of the field so I don't want to confuse anybody and go too fast. All right, so let's just say the ball's here in the middle of the field. It's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, gotta have it. You need the ball back, but yet you don't want to sell out. This cover one, just playing cover one cut, cover one hole is the best way to go. All you have to do is just shift your D line to the side of the run strength. Where here, this is where the tight end is. All right. And then from there, we're just going to use it this whole player. Why? Well, kind of allows us to freelance because we don't have any man responsibility if it's a pass. You can kind of go and help out where needed. Okay. The most important thing is just trying to get and just mirror the running back. You may not stop them here, guys. This isn't going to be like guaranteed run through the gap type of situation like I have in some of my other calls. But we're just going to try to mirror the back and we're just going to try to be aggressive. If he goes outside wide here, we're going to go outside wide. And then what you're really going to need is honestly a block check from somebody on the interior. Okay. But I like how the front moves over here and allows you, they're going to be slanting back in, but from this angle, they kind of do a better job versus outside plays. And if you notice, this linebacker also moved over. Let me reset it. So this linebacker is a little bit tight, but when you slant the line, when you shift the line to the left or to the right here, hold on, sorry. You see how he gets a little wider? So he can kind of hold the edge a little bit better. All right. So if it's a wide zone play, just try to stay outside the fullback and make that thing cut back. If it's an inside hitting play, I know there's a huge gap that's kind of presenting itself right here. So this is a little bit of the weakness. So if people want to run right at you, all right, that's why I'm not telling you to move out wide. You just gotta kind of follow the fullback and try to sneak through there and make a play. The main thing is that if you give up a first down, at least it's not going to probably be a touchdown. I'm not telling you to zero blitz, okay? However, let's say it is a gotta have it play. Okay, what I call a gotta have it is like if you don't stop them, the game is over. They can run the clock out. Okay. By the way, you can call three seam as well, so that's fine. All right. Um, just remember if you go up against two tight end set, let me go back. If you go up against a two tight end set, there's an automatic nub to one side. So the nub side, I'm going to do this. I'm going to shift over here to the right because there's more players over there. It's the run strength. But this guy right here, okay, just remember the problem is what? If he's in a seam flat versus a nub, it could make the corner jump the flat. So just put him in a hard flat, okay, or take him and put him into a curl flat, whatever you want. That just makes sure that the corner over there is going to play a deep third if there is a play action pass, okay? Over here, we're fine. This is just a normal set. We can just play ball. Okay, the corner doesn't react to that. All right, so you can play three. You can play cover three as well, three strafe or just three seam. But if you really want to try to come after them and get after them, the best way to do it, and you're taking a little bit of a risk here, is to call a linebacker fire. All right, so it's an all-out pressure. I think it's monsoon. I forget exactly right now. I apologize. But here, this is where just calling it base, meh, not a huge fan. You can try it out. I actually like to squeeze the line here. You are going to be weak off the edge, but squeezing the line to me makes sure that these two guys are in the A gap. Okay. Another problem is here with this defense. If you, we're going to use the free safety and get in there because it's a gotta have it end of the game situation, and also a lot of times this safety here will be the free hitter, so you want to make sure you react quickly. The only thing is you see you have man coverage on the tight end, so in order to just alleviate that problem, I just play the outside backer man, and I don't have to make this adjustment, but I know I have the tailback if he goes to the flat for some reason, like one of those tailback plays where they fake it to him and throw it to the flat. So just in general, just try to come in there, try to be a free hitter. All right. Try not to take on any guys that are bigger than you because there's a big penalty for fatigue. I won't get into that now. But again, the difference here, we're not going to shift the line to the right. We're just going to squeeze the line here. And this is really going to be probably what are we thinking? Blast, right? Something up the middle, dive, fullback dive, right? So we want to get up in there like a linebacker, but we don't have to react quickly. We can kind of wait for an open hole. Like there is a backside open hole there. And I'm going to actually look for that hole. I'll be honest with you. I've been rewarded more than I've been hurt by doing that. Look for that backside hole. Let me try to show you one more time. This is again 4th and 1. Gotta have it, right? This backside hole right here is usually where people are going to cut back to. They're not going to just keep running into bodies. All right. But if that happens and a gotta have a situation, he gets lots of yards, that's okay. All right. All right, so let's go into another version of maybe a little bit more. Um, you want to be aggressive because it's 3rd and 1, but the formations may not be this easy, right? You can use this versus I formation. I'm going to start here, but let's just go with 46 normal. Okay, you can use the same philosophy I just talked about with 44. You can call cover one hole. You can call cover three seam. You just don't have to make any adjustments. You're just going to basically play ball. All right. So a team that comes out in pro set, let's say they want to run ISO, right? We're gonna just play ball here. This one's a little bit different. We're gonna play with the obviously we have the fullback here. We're not gonna make any adjustments here. We're just gonna line up and play, and we're just gonna hope that our guys make plays here. The only thing I would say is you might want to maybe blitz a linebacker to see if one of the computer linebackers might do a better job. But here we're gonna. It's not like we're conceding the 3rd and 1. We're just basically playing it more. We don't know what we're gonna get. We're getting a sim player. We're not sure. Okay, so cover three seam. We can play this as well. And again, this is going to be. We don't know what the play is going to be. We're not quite sure. But we're just going to fit like we do in our normal over defenses. And again, we're going to need a block shed in order to really be successful down here. But if you want to be aggressive and you want to take a chance, which is where I live on 3rd down and 1 sometimes, more than I'm talking about it, is actually to use two blitzes. And they're really, well, you can use three really, but the first one is going to be rush outside. Okay. So that one is if you think they're going to run outside, right? So a team that has a propensity to run outside, we're just going to say, hey, it's 3rd and 1. We're in the field. Okay, we're going to take a chance here. Nobody has the fullback here, just so you know. So I would probably use the safety or use the backside backer and say, I'm going to really play the fullback. Like, let's say if he goes strong and it's a pass, you're going to go. Okay. But using the outside blitz usually gets a better result than that. Let me just take a look at that again. Usually, the outside blitz, the backers that are coming off the edge to either side do a much better job. I probably should, yeah, I should press. Pressing helps there. You can back off your corner, but pressing helps bring your safety down just a little bit. I'm not saying this is 100% play here because as you see, I'm running over the backside trying to get there, but it's a good play in general to get good pressure off the outside. All right. Let's go up against something else. Let's say it's just like I should have power. Power would be a good way to run. We want to run something like blast. Okay. We're going to run it over here to the strong side. Okay. And as you see, just the fact that the outside backer comes screaming off the edge, it gets the fullback how to block him there. Right. So this is probably one of my favorite ways, even on an inside run play, to say, "Hey, we're going to play ball. We're being aggressive." It's still in the Jim Schwartz um, philosophy of bringing guys the edge or in the middle quickly. Inside blitz, right? Now this is going to be used a little bit more against different personnel, but you can kind of live in this world too. Okay, I would use or whoever has one of the running backs or so. And say, "Hey, we're going to go up against blast. We're going to take a chance and we're going to send people in there and we're going to see what happens." Now, let me show you where we're going to use inside blitz more in the red zone than we would here or in a gotta have it play. Okay. Just by the way, the other play that I think you can use is fire zone 3. If you think it's an outside zone, it's kind of that same philosophy where we talked about it before. We're going to bring that linebacker, let him blitz through the open C gap, C gap, and see what happens. Okay. But let's move this ball down back into the red zone. So let's say it's 31 in the red zone, or let's say they're down by the goal line. Okay. And people are going to come out in all types of formations, especially they're going to come out in, what do you call it? Spread 11 sets like this. Okay. So a lot of people are doing this, and I even do it myself now. I kind of adjusted to real life football. Is balls on the 4 to 5, right? And they're going to say, hey, screw it. Let's come out 11 personnel, trips, nub. Let's throw a bubble or run inside zone, right? So my favorite blitz, let me just show you what it was, let me show you the art real quick, is the inside linebacker blitz because it does two things for you, okay? And this kind of goes into calling the red 51, or sorry, the red hole defense, okay? We're going to send only 5 guys, but the alignment is crucial. We're in our base defense, right? So it's 4 DBs on the field. We're going to call inside linebacker blitz as soon as we see some sort of gun trips formation, right? Or any type of formation, bunch, any type of hard formation to line up against. The great thing is that you get all your DBs to cover all the receivers, including and the tight end. So you have a corner over here, you have a safety on number 2. I know that's not a great matchup, but that's better than a linebacker, right? So you don't have to really worry about that. You don't have to worry about what else? Bubbles, that's taken care of. Right over here, we have another DB on our safeties on the tight end. Okay. And one of our linebackers is on the running back. So that's the first thing. The second thing you can see here is that see how the front, because it is blitz, they're aligned the opposite direction where they usually are. They're in the under front, similar to calling big nickel over G. So basically, there's 3 techniques away from the running back, okay, which is where people want to run the ball. We have a linebacker blitzing through the open A gap, so that's going to really kind of murky that thing up. So this is the player that I said I was going to adjust. Instead of blitzing this and making this a 6-man blitz, I'm going to use this linebacker here. I could even just put him in a different assignment. And I'm thinking, stop the run, right? If it's play action or run, whatever, just go get the running back, right? Or double team. So where can I double team? Wherever you think you need somebody needs help. All right. You can say, hey, I'm going to take away a shallow route by the tight end on either side. Okay. A receiver coming in from one side, sorry, shallow route from a receiver or shallow route coming from tight end. As soon as I see somebody dragging, I'm just going to double team it. Okay. You could do it like that, or you could just say, I need to take away a certain player, a wheel route, whatever it is. But first off, you get to stop the run. All right. So the run play, you should be the open free hitter versus this run play if they do run inside zone, the dreaded inside zone play, right? So I always have to stop inside zone. The blitzer gets picked up, but obviously you, as the free runner, can come over as well. You also have your linebacker who has man on the running back coming over, okay? And then if it's a pass play, then now you could choose to do something else, okay? So let's just say I want to take away number 3 strong. I think he's probably a guy they're going to come after. I'm gonna play outside leverage. I'll play underneath leverage too, maybe. All right. And let's just say it's a pass. He's gonna come running over there and maybe try to help out. Number three was coming towards you. Okay. So that's kind of the philosophy of using when you get down to the red, you can use as a gotta have a situation in the field, end of the game, but really red zone defense, I love the inside blitz for that reason. Okay. The outside blitz, don't use that one because you're gonna get linebackers matched up on receivers. You don't want that. All right. So let me show you inside blitz one more time, maybe against a different formation that you can probably see. Bunch Y flex. Like, what do? You know, people like to run inside zone. Well, they like to run bubbles. They like to try to throw screens. Well, we're just gonna run the same thing. Everybody's matched up man to man. We're sound, right? And we're just going to play ball. Somebody tries to run inside zone. We have a lot of bodies there to make a play. Okay. So that would be one of my favorite, like in red zone, like gotta have it, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, down by the, goal line, uh, goal and 2 to go, goal and 1 to go. You're going to see me calling that versus 11 personnel. Okay. Not necessarily versus 21 unless they come out in a spread set, but more of that spread football philosophy. Okay. When it comes back down to maybe stopping a bigger set, we're going to get back into our 44 package and do what we talked about. Or maybe if you kind of in between, they're not really that, they might pass, they might run. We'll come back to the 46 and we will send some sort of outside pressure or something like that. Okay. But I think that's pretty much it. So from a coverage standpoint, we like obviously on like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 4th and 1, it's cover one, cover zero. That's pretty much what you're gonna play. Okay. If you want to mix in some cover threes, I would consider using some hard flats. Okay. Um, that's something I didn't talk about. I'm going to probably save that for another video. But just you could take some of that three strafe stuff and some of the quarter stuff in the field and hard flat as well. But then you're going to lose your responsibilities when it comes to everything else. You're kind of bastardizing the defense. So I wouldn't highly suggest it. But in the field, you're going to get the coverages I told you about: cover one, hole, cover blitz, cover one, cover three seam, which is like I told you, the names in the Jim Schwartz world. And then we have quarters and we have zero. Okay. And the zero pressure, try to disguise it. Don't just line up in zero pressure. Come out in quarters and then audible to, Overstorm Brave or audible to Silver Shoot Pinch versus 3x1 or something. Okay. Don't just come out in it and just show it to start. All right. Very simple package so that we can line up and play. Hope you guys got something from that. If you have any questions, let me know. I need to update my sheet and add those plays in there. So I'll be working on that right now. And I'm going to get this video out to you guys today. All right. Thanks for being a part of my Patreon. And like I had said, we will make updates to books. So this is the update that I've been meaning to get to you since the beginning of the new year on the Redzone and short yardage package for Jim Schwartz or any type of wide nine system or just 4-3 system in general. Okay. I'll talk to you later, man. Peace.